entire and large executive of our great party, and all the ward chairman, every person here today is part of this very important engagement. The Abia PDP condemns, without reservation, the irresponsible demonstration by members of the Labour Party and agents of the Abia State government, led by the Speaker of Abia State House of Assembly, Emmanuel Emeruwa, in Umuahia yesterday, following the Court of Appeals ruling on the Abia Central Senatorial election, which removed Darlington Nwokocha of the Labour Party and restored the mandate of Colonel Austin Akobundu, retired, of the PDP on the 4th day of November 2023. Despite our warning, we are surprised that the Labour Party did not heed our advice and went with the ill-fated protests, which is not only unconscionable, but also nonsensical and laughable, given that the Court of Appeal will never go to such a hilarious arm twisting and reverse itself because of a bunch of hoodlums who threatened to unleash mayhem in the states after a particular judgment did not favor it. The resort to such infertile tactics is very unintelligent and speaks to the caliber of people who populate the Labour Party and the gradual descent of Abia to the most absurd level of indecency under the watch of Alex Otti and the generality of Labour Party. Unbelievably, the PDP unearthed accurate intelligence, which shows that the Abia state government is the mastermind of the exercise, which it dubbed the mother of all protests in Nigeria, after it had budgeted over 600 million naira and planned to convey about 6,000 protesters and members of LP using 340 18-seater buses to Umuahia just to protest the appeal court judgment. We want to put in record that they had put in this huge budget in place, and according to them, being the only Labour Party state, they had intended to go to the streets shortly after the after the delivery of the Supreme Court judgment, which favored President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. In their meeting, they said they need to do that to show to the world that Abia is Labour, and that they are already aware that as soon as that judgment did not favor their party, that the first thing which will happen, that the streets of Lagos and Abuja will be crowded with people who will be protesting, and the next in line will be Abia State. Unfortunately for them, after that judgment, there was calm, there was sanity in Nigeria. Everyone seems to accept the judgment of the Supreme Court as it favored President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Unfortunately for the Labour Party, and for the Labour Party, and to Chadrin, the expected turnout was very dismal following the refusal of the chairman, to mobilize the talks, but rather asked Alex Otti to go and bring technocrats and billionaires from the United States, Lagos, and Abuja for the demonstration. A reflection of the ask that Alex Otti has sidelined and abandoned the party faithful that worked for the Labour Party during the last election. Hence, 24 hours after that election, they have now announced the names of their transition committee chairmen and deputies, and in the weeks that follow, most likely to announce the names of councillors in line with the real protest of the people, members of their party. The action of the Labour Party are unbecoming of an organization that is supposed to function as a political party and irresponsible as a politician. I take that again. The action of the Labour Party are unbecoming of an organization that is supposed to function as a political party and a responsible corporate citizen, because its state chairman, Mr. C.K. Igara, had also thrown caution to the wind when he addressed the constituted court to not stand because a member of his party was removed from office. Laughable. Unfortunately to Igara, we are more shocked by the rascality of the judiciary. According to Igara, we are more shocked by the rascality of the judiciary, especially Muslim judgment, divisive judgment. This is the first time in the history of our democracy that a political party will take the liberty to abuse members of the esteemed bench simply because its case fell flat on its face due to irreconcilable differences with provision of extant laws of Nigeria. The resort by LP to protest and demonstrate is a new low in their unbridled quest for power and also a call to anarchy. And the good people of Abia State will not sit idly by and watch it trample on the rights of others. Without prejudice to the fact of the matter, the Labour Party displayed continuous display, without prejudice to the fact of the matter, the Labour displayed and continue to display a high level of shameful ignorance by whipping up sentiments and reducing the judgment of the Court of Appeal to only Section 77 of the Electoral Act. Even at that, it refused to realize or tactfully ignore the fact that a Court of Appeal had also ruled that Section 77, which deals with nomination of candidates, is both a pre-election and a post-election matter. It is mindless and unconscionable to resort to blackmail and underhand tactics, which have become its stock in trade and instrument it uses to get through the back door. They have conveniently ignored that fact that the PDP had, in the case of Akobundu, had 19 grounds of appeal, most of which it could not defend, and which borders on non-compliance with the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the 2022 Electoral Act as amended. In the same vein, it brazenly ignored the fact that the Court of Appeal also took cognizance of the rejected votes in some polling units in the constituencies, which was in the petition of the PDP. In its wicked and frenzied determination to cause commotion in Abia, the Labour Party failed to provide the part of the judgment to the press. When Nigeria returned to democracy, and in the 24 years it was in power in Nigeria, the PDP never called out its members to protest any judgment that did not favor it, much more disobey a court order. The Abia PDP has consistently maintained that the Labour Party in Abia State, under the leadership of Alex Otti, portray itself as a reckless organization. We say reckless organization based on a lot of facts. You will agree with me that in Nigeria today, when we talk of restiveness, one of the states in Nigeria that have suffered a lot of security challenges in the past 10 to 15 years is Borno State. And to imagine that such a state will spend about 500 million a month for security votes, and we have an Alex Otti of Abia State who is spending about 1 billion for security votes. And Alex a month, and Alex Oti, who is spending over 500 million, according to their own input in Abia State website, which they recently shut down. Unfortunately for them, we have already reported them to the World Bank. And the World Bank has noticed that they have spent 500 and something million in 3 months on their Ministry of Propaganda, just to continuously deceive Abians, engaging the services of all sorts of people to mastermind one of the biggest propaganda we have ever imagined. I will not forget in a hurry that several years ago, when the Arrow sons and daughters decided to give him a special reception as the newly appointed managing director of the Central Bank of Nigeria. At that time, Sanusi was the Central Bank governor. He said, when he was asked to, Alex Oti is one of the best marketers any Nigerian bank can engage. My fear for him today is that those who have appointed a strong risk manager to work very closely with him because of implication of recklessness. And no wonder shortly after leaving that bank is Toby. It was one of the best managed new generation bank. That bank is no longer in existence. The Abia PDP has consistently maintained that the Labour Party in Abia State under the leadership of Alex Oti, portrays itself as a reckless organization that does not respect the laws of the land and shows a tendency to push Abians into the unsafe and insecure hands of autocrats who will stop at nothing to acquire absolute power, which corrupts absolutely. And the events of the past days have only validated our position. We call on the security agencies to bring to justice all the actors in the bizarre and actionable act capable of truncating our democracy, especially operative of state governments who are not mindful of the fact that the protest against the judiciary is an affront to the concept of separation of power and the rule of law, one of the strongest safeguards of our democracy against authoritarianism, absolute power in the hands of few men. We also call on all members of the PDP and the good people of Abia State to remain internally vigilant, because that is the price we have to pay to secure and sustain our liberty from autocrats like Alex Oti. PDP! Power to the people! We will now take questions. Want to know whether yes, sir. Yes, sir. It has been published, and I will be surprised if any media organization in Nigeria does not have it. In Nigeria does not have it as of today. A few days ago, you know, those are Abia State have a website where the government, according to the recommendation of the central bank, so that it can be accessible from wherever, you understand, by policymakers and international development partners and financial institutions like the African Development Bank and the World Bank So that is part of the condition they gave states. So according to the inputs of the Abia State government on that side, we saw different things of expenses which they have done in the third quarter. So if it's not available to you, we'll also make it available to you now. Have it. And I must also mention that 2 days ago, the Abia State government shut down that site. You understand? I will also give you the site. They shut down that site. It is not their site. It is the site of the people of Abia. It was created with taxpayers' money. The administrator of that site is paid with the taxpayers' money. So it is nobody has the right. It was shut down. That site is not under any attack. Otherwise, the Abia State government would have raised alarm that because that is a conventional thing to do, that the site has been attacked. Nobody has attacked that site, but they have on their own shut it down. They have shut it down. But unfortunately for them, before they did that, we have downloaded, we have copied the sites. So we have that information we'll make available to you now. Okay, the first question. Yes, we do. We do. We have the copy of the judgments, and we'll also make available. We'll have the copy of the judgment.
Your name.
I'm on case I want to trample them.
Okay.
So my question to you, sir, is based on the governorship court matter. What is the state of the party?
It has never been our. We don't talk so much in the matter in court. We don't talk so much. That is why when one of the spokesperson of Alex Oti told the world that they will win their case at the tribunal 2 days before the delivery judgment, that was to us. It meant so much to us. It means that they have seen the judgment. So for us, we are optimistic that our lawyers have done a good job, and then we leave the rest.
Thank you.
Somebody, David, you take whatever question.
The question that I have.
Okay.
What I want to ask is that now that the Court of Appeal, gave you a the last weekend, what chances,
It's the same question. It's the same question. Okay.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, all the members of our very happy to have you, pressmen, in our midst. We have disclosed our hearts. We have made known our position with respect to the issues at hand. We are very grateful that you obliged us to grant us this opportunity to interact with us. Moving forward, we want to assure you that PDP as a party, we are law-abiding. We are very, very ready to keep to the tenets of democracy. We will continue to be law-abiding. We will continue to activate our people to remain law-abiding. And until we have the final verdict of our court case, PDP in Abia State is very, very intact. Even after the verdict, we are going to remain intact. As you can see, there is no cause for alarm in PDP Abia State. We want to urge Labour Party to play politics according to the rule and show respect to the judiciary and show respect to democracy. God bless you for coming. Thank you very much.
I have just released the e-copy. I've just released the e-copy to Mr. Nwokocha. Have you confirmed? So he will release to you. I will still. I have